Hey, nice girls. All right, let's get started. This training video is actually going to be all about sales, how to close like a boss. And here's the thing with sales. I feel like even though you joined a business and you know that you are in a type of business where you need to sell people on either opportunity, product, or service, and so on, I still feel like not enough attention goes towards sales and the importance of it, which is very unfortunate because in order to have a business at all of any kind, you need to be able to sell, right? You need to be able to push the product or service that you offer, and you need to be able to do it well, because if you don't, well, you don't make a commission, you don't earn residuals, you don't have a business at all, and you eventually shut down, right? You don't have money to pay employees, you don't have money to just pay your bills, and on and on and on. So the reason why I feel like it's so overlooked and kind of forgotten about is because I have not seen any leader that teaches or helps any type of, like business coaching or helping entrepreneurs or anything like that, sit down and really teach sales. They're always talking about the same thing over and over again, which is what? Figure out your why, get your passion, blah, blah, blah. A lot of good memes that get you motivated in the morning. You're like, yeah, I'm going to conquer this day. And then you don't conquer anything, right? You can hardly conquer making a meal maybe that throughout that day. And it's because just because you feel great about doing something doesn't mean you have the how-tos on how to get it done. That's just how it is. And I like to cover sales. I like to include this in my program because, and even when I work with private clients, I like to touch base on this when we get to like the following up of leads and so on, because it's really important. Once you get somebody interested, you want to be able to get them, to give them enough reason and to show them what you have and give them enough value so that they want to pull out their purse or whatever and pay you and buy what it is that you're selling. If you cannot do that, then what is the point of getting leads? What is the point of sparking interest? What is the point of building a following on social media that is passionate behind what it is you do in your product or service if they're not actually buying it? Then you might as well just go on there just to get a following and not expect to actually make any money doing it. And I know that that's not why you got into your business. You got into your business so you can start up and change your lifestyle. So you need to understand the importance of sales. Now, truth is, what I cover here in this program, I could so expand on it for days, but I'm going to condense it down to this one training video. And if you need extra help after this, feel free to reach out to me. I work with private clients and helping them figure out their target, their message, helping them come up with a brand, a logo, their landing page, and basically their whole marketing system from start to finish. And the finish is getting a customer, right? Getting them to buy. And there's a process that goes on in that. But if maybe what you need is just help in sales and closing people, that is something that I can help you do. So just keep that in mind. So get your blueprint out, get your pen and paper handy, and get ready to write down notes. And so like I mentioned, sales, it's critical to your business because if you're not selling anything, you're not going to make any money, bottom line. And I actually started off my career, my journey in entrepreneurship as somebody who sold. And I started off on the phone, actually. So if you think selling in person or whatnot is hard, try selling over the phone without somebody knowing who you are, and there's not that trust there and all of that stuff. But so I grew and developed in my skills when it came to sales, the do's and don'ts of it, what could make or break you, right? And I've done sales anywhere from in person, like one-on-one, in front of a group, on stage, on the phone, in a video, and so on and so forth. So the same techniques basically apply to all types of selling, no matter which one you are doing. You can still apply the same principles. So let's get started. And this is going to be number one, and also the first thing that I want you to keep in mind, which is this. The number one excuse that you get when you're trying to sell somebody on whether it's on your product or service, the number one excuse that you get is the one you just can't answer. It's the one you can't overcome. So you need to know, all right, think back of all the people you've tried to sell so far in your business. Has there been a common excuse that they give you, a common question that then, because you aren't able to answer it, you lose the sale? Really think about it. And if you are really that fresh that you just haven't had that opportunity to get one common one, then you're definitely new in the game. And I want you to pay close attention as you go to sell people and see what it is that it is. You should take notes after the fact and really know what you're doing right or wrong. Okay, so anyways, keep that in mind, because you need to overcome that excuse so that next time you don't have that problem, and maybe a new one will come on. Learn how to overcome that one, and then you'll be good. So number one, remember that you need to sell on the results. You need to sell on what somebody will benefit by buying your product or service. People love showcasing their beautiful, products, their beautifully packaged products, and the way they look, and they display it so nice, and they show it on social media. And while you're impressed and proud of how it looks, people that you are putting that in front of, they really don't care. They really don't care. That is not going to be enough for them to hand over their money and buy what it is that you're selling. And a common thing that people think, oh, I got into this business because the product is so great, the results are so amazing, they sell themselves. They do not sell themselves. They absolutely do not. And remember this, and I don't know if I mentioned this in the earlier trainings that I did, but what you sell is not original. It's not. It might be a reinvented version of something. It might be a new and improved. It might be the same but slightly different, modified, whatever. But there's nothing new that you're showing us that we haven't already seen. The only thing that comes out that's new that we haven't seen before possibly is when it comes to technology. A new phone that can, walk your dog now, and eventually it probably will happen. So that's the only thing that's really new that we've never heard of, a new invention of some type. But if you're selling skincare, handbags, clothing, if you're selling perfumes, if you're selling if you're selling even business coaching services of any type, if you are selling makeup, anything like that, weight loss, that's not a new concept, right? You guys understand what I'm saying? So what you want to do is stop showcasing what it is you sell and start sharing the results. Start sharing, how will this help your life? How will what I offer help your life, change your life, improve it, make it easier, get rid of this problem? That's what your focus should be all the time. That's what should be included into your message, right? In your marketing. And when you go to talk to people and you're sharing your product or service, that's what you need to be focusing on in all seriousness. So anyways, that's number one, sell the results. Number two, go for the no. Go for the no. And going for the no helps you to stop chasing people. We don't want to be women who chase people for sales. So if somebody says, well, Jen, that actually sounds pretty good, I'll have to think about it. What's your concern? What do you need to think about? Where is there an issue? I want to ask as many questions as I can, because I want to find out what the real reason. Is it really that they just don't want to? Is it really that they just don't have the money? I don't want a maybe. When you have a maybe, that causes you to keep chasing after somebody to get that yes. Probably next week I can do it. Check back with me then. Okay. Do you not want what it is that I sell? Yes, I do. Okay. Then let's get you signed up to buy whatever it is that you're offering them next week or whatever. And I'm going to go over this a little bit as I get to the end because I love talking about a technique that I use, and I haven't heard anybody share this before. Nobody, first of all, really even teaches sales. But second of all, I've never heard anybody on any training call ever give this piece of advice, and I'm surprised. To me, this is just a no-brainer, but whatever. So I will share it with you. But go for the no. You want a yes, you're going to buy. No, you're not. And don't chase people for the maybes. A maybe is just a no. They're just wasting your time and they feel bad saying no. All right, number 3, qualify people first. Qualify people first. So here is why you should qualify people. If you don't, you will end up trying to sell to people that wouldn't really buy from you anyway. And so when you qualify, you're kind of getting the prospect, which might sound funny, to kind of jump over a couple hurdles to prove themselves worthy of your time, that they would even be a right candidate for what it is you sell. So here's an example. I see this all the time. I just saw this today, so I'm going to share it. If I were walking through the gym and there's a couple sales rep from a local chiropractor there, and they go and, oh, have you checked your back and stuff like that. You know, most people are just like, yeah, no, whatever. Or if you're just completely naive to the fact of really what a chiropractor can do for you, because we think, you know, they're popping your joints and cracking your neck and back and stuff like that, realignment and whatever. But unless you actually needed a chiropractor or have gone before, you really don't know what it is they do. So what they should be doing is asking qualifying questions. And they could do this with a survey. They could do this in different ways with questions, but you shouldn't just try to talk to any and everybody. That's how you're going to get no after no after no after no. And you don't want to have to go through that. It's very discouraging. It's a huge waste of your time, right? It's like, for example, this. If I'm selling how to refinish basements and I go around and start talking to people just randomly about going through my sales pitch and trying to get their business by me refinishing their basement, but they live in an apartment, how am I going to refinish their basement? They don't have a basement. And so if they were just, me as a sales rep, were to qualify them, and one of the ways would be to find out if they're a homeowner, because even if they're renting, how does that help me out? They may not be able to do adjustments and fix things up and remodeling in that home that they're renting, right? I need somebody who owns a house. That's one thing. I also need to know that they have the income to be able to spend it on remodeling a basement. I can't just talk to somebody that owns a home who's hardly paying the bills every month. They don't have that luxury of that extra funds to make their basement look how they want it to, right? So if you were to qualify the individual first, you would know these things and you would know if you should even try getting an appointment with them, try talking to them on phone and selling them. You must qualify people first. Again, you can do this by a questionnaire, an application, if you'd like to say. You can have this done by having them watch a video first. So let's say that you've got this video that kind of explains what your opportunity is about. Now, disclaimer, I do not recommend that you talk to potential, prospects and tell them to go watch an opportunity video. No, I think you should make your own video, and I think you should have them go to your landing page. That's what they should be doing. But anyways, let's just say for argument's sake and just for an example, you want them to watch a video. So if you want to get somebody on your team, you don't just get on the phone with them and say, well, she looks good online and I'm told to reach out to any and everybody because the more no's I get, I'll end up getting a yes. It's a numbers game. Oh my gosh. Anyways, exhausting. They just really don't care about you guys. This is time and effort. So, but let's just say you get somebody, you start chatting with them back and forth, and they do kind of seem like a good candidate. You've asked them a few questions to kind of see if they line up with what you would be doing here. And they're like, yeah, you know what, Jen, give me more info. all right, well, here's what I'm going to do. I want you to go watch this video first, and when you're done, contact me. Now, I personally would have a platform set up so that I would know if they viewed the video. I don't want to just wonder, did they not? Should I ask? Are they avoiding me now? So I would want to be able to get some kind of email alert that they did in fact watch a video, because how would they do that? They had to sign up in order to watch it or listen to it, whatever it might be, a call or video. And then I want them to have a ball in their court to reach out to me. Why? Because if they actually do go watch the video and they're interested, what are they going to do? They're going to reach back out to me. Okay, I like what I saw. Tell me more. Then I can tell them more and get them to sign up or buy the product, whichever way that you're doing. If they watch the video and they don't reach out to you, then you know, maybe they're not interested. And you could wait a day or two and say, hey, did you ever watch that video? Even though you already know they did. Oh, yeah, I did. I meant to tell you. Oh, no. Okay, cool. Or they avoid you like the plague. You never see them again. You don't waste your time and effort. And you also don't want to be, like I said, stalking them. Did you watch the video? Did you watch the video? Did you not watch the video? If they don't even take the time to go and watch the video, they're not interested. They're either too busy, too lazy, don't care. And so this is all part of the qualifying process. Got it? Sometimes the qualifying process might be, here, buy this cheap little something first, and then do you need more information? Do you need more help? Do you want to check out this product now? And then get them to keep, upselling. So there's a lot of different ways you can qualify. Make sure you do it. Do not talk to any and everybody, because not any and everybody fits your target, as we talked about. And you're going to have a lot of resistance in trying to sell. Number 4, nothing is official until they've made payment. Why do I say this? I've worked with a lot of people, mostly women, and they will say, oh my gosh, Jen, I just closed this sale. She says she's going to buy this package. She says she's going to sign up for this. Nah. Okay, and did they, or is it official? No, they have to wait till Friday because that's when they get paid. That's all good, and that very well may be true, but there's no guarantee they're signing up Friday. And so I don't want to be a killjoy, but don't get overexcited thinking you have the sale coming in Friday when you may not. A lot of stuff can happen between now and Friday. They could have asked advice from somebody. Someone could have talked them out of it. They could have had an unexpected car expense. And I don't know if they're really unexpected, because it seems like when someone doesn't want to pay, it's always the car situation. So I'm thinking this is just one huge, gigantic lie, and only like maybe 2% of the time it actually is, in fact, a car situation, or somebody's family member died or whatever, or got really sick. There's always the two things. The cars break down and the family members start dropping like flies. This are the two common ones. If you're watching this, tell me if I'm right or wrong. You probably had them all. Anyways, a lot can happen, so don't put all your eggs in that one basket and think like, oh, you know what? Let's just say you're reaching for a goal. I only needed $500 more. This girl's buying $600 on Friday. Bam, I'm going to have it. Everything's great. No, what you need to do is you need to continue working and looking for another 2-3 people to buy. Don't just stop, because number 1, you want to make more money. You don't just want to stop at that one sale. And number 2, that person may fall off. You need somebody to cover that, or you won't reach that goal, or you won't make the commission check that you were hoping for, or that you needed to pay a couple bills or whatever. Get it? So don't just hold on. Nothing is official until they've swiped their card or gave you the cash or wrote you the check. And even then, that one still has to clear. So here's the piece of advice that I wanted to share that I haven't heard anybody ever share. This is just something I used to do. So if somebody says to you, Jen, I really do want it. I really do. I can't pay till Friday. Here's what you're going to do. You're going to take a post-dated payment. All right. You are going to ask them, okay, Friday, cool. What are you getting again? Let me write up the order form. Let me get the order down. Okay. And let me get your card information. Are you putting it on a Visa, MasterCard? Get them to answer it. Don't say, are you putting it on a credit card? Because that's a yes or no. No, I don't know yet. I might pay cash. I might meet up with you. I might send a check, whatever the case may be. You need a yes or yes type of question. A yes or yes type of question is, what credit card will you be using? Because if you go the other route and say, are you going to be using a credit card, that already gives them an easy way to not want to commit. So anyways, get their information, get it down in their order form, and say, okay, this will go and be processed on Friday. It will not be processed any earlier, so don't worry about it. And you'll be all good to go, and your product or whatever will be, or you'll be signed up on Friday. If anything should occur between now and Friday, feel free to reach out to me and let me know. But if I don't hear from you, I'm going to put this through on Friday, okay? Okay, awesome. That's what you want to do, because if they really don't want that to go through, the ball's now in their court to reach out to you and say, hey, don't put that through. I didn't get the money. I didn't get paid yet. Didn't hit my bank account, whatever the case may be. But don't you dare call them and say, you still want me to put this through, right? Do not do that, because chances are they're going to say no. Get their information and do a post-dated payment. Back in the day, I don't know how old you are watching this. We used to do post-dated checks, right? So I'm going to pay this next month. Here's the check now, dated for next month. Well, that's kind of where I had the idea from. Give me a post-dated credit card payment, which no one had ever heard of. And so that's probably why no one teaches it, because I sort of just made it up. Give me your credit card information. I'll keep it safe and secure. No one's going to see this. And I'll put it through. And then if you need to take the order form and just literally shred it, because you just don't want to have that hanging around, because you should never have people's payment informations on paper form just hanging out. Shred them, get rid of them. You don't need them anymore. You entered all their info. You're all good. So that's one little tip I can give you that will save you a lot of headaches and help secure that you do in fact get that sale on Friday. But even then, cards can get declined. So don't just hold off for that sale. Keep hustling, right? Okay, number 5, have an outline, have a sales script. So one of the businesses I had and created and started up was a call center. And so, well, you can't have a bunch of people on the phone answering calls, doing it however they feel like. So I learned very early on in my career that there needs to be a system. You need to have a way of how operations are run, and you need to have them documented. I had a actual training manual for my call center reps that they kept. And so as you are working on selling people over the phone, doing a webinar, on stage, however it is that you're doing one-on-one presentation, if you want to call it, you need to have some type of outline of the order of how you're going to do it. And one tip I will give you, don't give them too many details. Don't give them a bunch of specifics on dollar amounts, payouts, all that stuff. It's too much. It's too much for the brain in one thing, right? They just can't, they're not going to grasp it all. They're not going to remember it all. You're going to make the business sound really confusing, and they're not going to understand it. They're going to ask you more questions than are even relevant. You're just going to get into a hot mess, and really you're just going to get them to not want to be part of it. So leave all of those little details out of it until you're actually filling out papers and signing them up and then training them. But as you're just going for the sale itself, leave that out. Have an outline that talks about your story, where you come from, how you got to this point, how you came to find and be part of this business or start up this business, depending on if you're network marketing or you started a business of your own. And ask questions. You've got to ask questions. You don't want to just be there just preaching to them, okay? So have some kind of outline. You guys know who Jordan Belfort is. He's the Wolf of Wall Street. So the reason why he was able to get what he would call these just bum losers, basically, in his words, to be able to sell this stock and whatever on the phone is because he had a script. He had everything from where voice inflections should be. And that's something that I did in my call center. So when I watched his story and I learned how he built his, well, a scam at the end of the day, but you get what I'm saying. I was amazed at how Similar, I did things when it came to my employees. They had a sales script. I had, this is the words that you emphasize. Here are the words you should avoid, because it's all psychological. And his method, of course, more intense and whatever than mine was, but his method really just from start to end of call drove that person to buy, you know? And so have a sales script, understand words that maybe scare people off. If you see, again, going back to point number one, if you find that, oh, I keep getting this objection, what are you saying that is getting them to freak out about that thing and bring it up and use it as an excuse every time? You should know this. And so stop saying it, right? So anyways, you need to have some kind of outline. And then if you find that you're still not closing, maybe you need to redo the outline and really go through it. And I've helped many clients listen to them. So I will actually get on, let's just say they've got a new prospect and they're going to do a webinar for them or something. I will get on that call or that webinar secretly, and I will just observe. I will just listen to the whole thing, write down notes, and then I really help them change up how they're presenting it. And they're always mind blown because they're like, wow, I didn't see it like that. Wow, I didn't know that. Whoa, I should have done that. Why didn't I think of that? It's because I know what's going to freak them out or not. Also, I'm looking at it from their perspective as somebody you're presenting it to. And so you're just looking at it as like, I just really want to convince this person to buy this product or to join my team. But I'm seeing it from the other side. And I also, with my sales experience and business experience, I know what's killing you and what's helping you. And so that's something that I also do for private clients. But anyways, it's very important to have a sales script to go on. All right, number 6, show confidence. You have to be confident. I'm going to be talking about in how to lead a team in that training video about showing confidence and how it's contagious. Lack of confidence is contagious, and having confidence is contagious. And how do you get confidence, really? I think number 1, you need to accept the fact that you're not perfect and just get over it already. You're learning. This is a process. But you know what your strengths are, and don't focus on the weaknesses, okay? Also, you know why you started up this business of yours, why you believe your product or service is so great, and you stand behind it. It's something that you are passionate about. And so having confidence is knowing that. And now, if you are feeling a little not so confident, well, keep in mind, make eye contact. That makes you look confident. Sit up straight, okay? Have a firm handshake. All of these little gestures that make a huge difference. Speak up. Don't talk quietly and reserved and soft-spoken. Also, here's something that, for mindset purposes, that you want to do. Assume in your mind they are going to buy. Don't ever, because when you have it in your mind, like in your head, you're doing your presentation and you're thinking, I don't know if they're really buying this. I don't know. I don't really like their face expressions. They're not looking very enthusiastic. I don't know about this. That doubt that you have inside that they can't hear inside your head, it comes out. They can feel it. And then they start to think, oh, I don't know about this company. And you didn't say anything to give them that thought, but just your whole demeanor. It's there. When I would do sales on the phone, if I felt confident that this person is going to sign up, more than likely they did. If I felt like, oh, this call's not going so good, and feeling insecure that they're not feeling it, yeah, they didn't. So always assume that they are going to buy and speak in that way. And when you talk too, you should end questions in a way that gets them to agree with you. So this really would help your day-to-day tasks, wouldn't it? Oh, yeah, it would. Or this is something you've been struggling with for a while and been looking for something to help fix this problem, right? Yeah, it is. You're getting them to agree with you, which brings me to point number 7. Telling is not selling. If you involve yourself in any type of business world, training, anything, I'm sure you've heard this before. I'm sure you've heard this in famous videos that have to, or videos, movies that have to do with sales and whatnot in businesses. Telling is not selling, but what does that mean? That means stop preaching to them. That's not going to get them to buy. You need to, the greatest salesman is the one who gets you to believe it was your decision. I messed that quote up entirely, but I'm sure you may know the quote that I'm referring to. Anyways, you want the prospect to believe it was their idea to sign up, not that you came along and convinced them. And how do we know this is true? Because when you walk into a store, the sales clerk says, "Oh, hi, welcome to whatever. Did you need help finding something?" And what's your common response? "Oh, no, I'm just looking." Nobody wants to be sold, but we want to buy. Why can't we just tell them we're looking for a pair of jeans or whatever? Why can't we just say what we're looking for? Because we don't want that pressure of them trying to sell to us. So if you don't want the person listening to your sales pitch feel like you're just trying to sell to them, you need to get them to start believing that this is their idea to buy. How do you do that? Is by not just telling them stuff, but asking questions. Ask questions. And just like I left off on point number 6, this is something that would really help you out, isn't it? Yes, just them answering that question. Now you can ask them questions about their life, their family, their hobbies, anything you can think of that relates to what it is you're selling. Because the more information they give you, the more fuel you have now to sell them why they should get XYZ. And again, this is something I could go on for days on, people, and get really specific, but I just want to basically break it down for you so that you can now put these into your business now, start selling like a, closing like a boss, and move on. But if you do want extra help, let me know. So ask questions. You know, one thing I taught someone a while back was, we'd be sitting at a sales table and they may be signing up for a program or something like that, or a product that we had. And the young woman was like, "So I noticed that you ask a lot of questions when they're looking to sign up." I said, "Yes." And I said, "But they're usually pretty obvious questions, right?" And she said, "Yeah." I said, "Because honestly, you're asking, sometimes I'll ask questions just to buy time. So it may not be a complicated question. It may be a question I should already know the answer to, but by me asking them a question, they now get to talk. And they're going to over-explain themselves, as most people do. As they're over-explaining themselves, now you get a chance to hear what they're saying, pick up on little things that they just said, and now use that to say, well, then blah, then you need this, or blah, you need that, and whatever, and get them. It's kind of like they're fueling your closing of the sale. They're giving you more ammunition, I guess, as I'm trying to find the right words for it. So ask questions, because unless you really can get to the bottom of what it is that they're struggling with, and if your product or service will in fact help them with that, you're going to have a hard time persuading them to buy. And you want to make sure that you are helping them out, and that, you know, you give them enough reason why they should in fact invest in your product or service. Okay, number 8, common objections, rebuttals, and questions, Q&As, okay? Here's an important thing. So we talked earlier about knowing that number 1 excuse you always get. So part of my sales outline, my manual, whatever you want to call it, I always had common objections and frequently asked questions, because when you are training your team and when you are just learning yourself and getting the hang of it and mastering it and memorizing things, you need to know as many objections people will give you so that you can know how to respond to them. Because if you can't answer certain questions, if you stumble, if you always are saying, well, let me find out for you, which you can do if you really genuinely do not know or you're brand new, you can say, that's a great question, let me find out for you and I will let you know. But you are definitely risking losing that sale, because you're not going to now be able to close them then and there. So you want to be able to ask as many questions or answer as many questions as you can and overcome as many objections as you can uh, right then and there, because the more that you wait, the enthusiasm dies down and you're less likely to get that sale. So you really do want to sell them there on the spot. It's very rare that somebody comes back a week later, 2 weeks later, or whatever, and buys. So anyways, get a list of those, write them down, and think of how you could rebuttal those objections. How could you answer those questions and make sure it sounds good and doesn't blow the sale, okay? And again, that's something that I help with. So if you need help, that is something we do in private coaching, or if you just completely want that service alone without everything else that I help you with your marketing and so on, we can do that too. We just need to discuss those details. All right, number 9, sense of urgency. There always has to be a sense of urgency or people will not take action. That's just how we are. We always are procrastinating. We're always, oh, think about it. We're always putting it off. And again, as I mentioned before, once the enthusiasm starts to die, you're losing the sale. Every day that goes by that they didn't, buy from you, they're drifting farther and farther apart. So there needs to be a sense of urgency. And what will they lose if they don't buy now? Will something expire? Is there a limited amount, a limited quantity? So once they're out, that's it. They don't get them anymore. Will they lose a discounted price? Is the price $47 now? And if they don't take action, it's going to be $200. What are they going to lose? And get that to be their sense of urgency, right? Time limit. So you'll have to think about what it is that you're selling and how and what you could put in there that is truthful. But you also need to figure out what's going on. What are you selling and what's the sense of urgency going to be? And make sure you emphasize that, because people will not take action if there's no rush to take action. Number 10, a CTA, your call to action. What do they need to do to get this offer? Do they need to make a phone call, reply to an email, opt into your landing page, sign up on something, register? What do they need to do? You need to have something for them to do, a call to action, and you need to make sure it's very clear. So many times I see a sales post and it's like, oh, that sounded great. Yeah, I want more info, or I do want that. Okay, now what do I do? There's no direction for me on what to do next. And if it's too complicated, people will just forget it. Make sure to have a call to action. Even when you're posting something on social media and you want them to do something, you need to have a sense of urgency on there, and you need to have a call to action. Number 11, voicemails. And I say this because a lot of times if you're doing sales and you're having to follow up with people on the phone, you're leaving voicemails. Here's how you could get people to call you back, because that can be a challenge, right? First of all, I wouldn't go into a long description of you're calling from this business, this company, because what are they going to hear? Oh, she wants to sell to me. Great. That's not what you want. What you need to do in a voicemail, and you can even use this when you leave voicemails for family members, you want to build curiosity. They need to know, they're going to want to scratch that itch of curiosity. So it may be something like, call me back in the next hour, I have a question for you, or something of the sort, and give them a time limit to call you back. Because if you don't give them a time limit, they're going to call you whenever they feel like it next week. You need them to call you back today. So tell them you're available for the next 30 minutes, tell them you're available for the next hour. Make it something kind of short. Don't say, if it's like 11 a.m., don't say you're available till 5. It's just too long, too much time. So give them a time limit and build that curiosity, so don't give out too much info. Okay, number 12, ask for the sale. Get the commitment. So many people will go through the whole thing of their sales pitch and why they should do it, and here's the product, and here's opportunity, and here's all this, and they don't just ask for the sale. You have to ask for it. All right, so you ready to sign up? Okay, so which package are you getting? And it's not like, do you want to sign up? Do you think this is right for you? Is there any of the products you like? No. Okay, so what do you want to do? You want to become a business builder with me and join my team? Or would you rather just try out the products first? Now, that was a yes or yes question. It wasn't a matter of do they want to. It was a matter of which one are you? A business builder or just a customer? You're getting them to pick. No, I'll sign up for the business. Okay, well, there's this package or this package. This comes with this comes with this. What's the better option for you? That one. Okay. Or I just want to be a customer. Okay. Well, what package fits you best? You want to go with this one here where you get whatever, or you want to go with this one? Which one's better for you? Asking for the sale, getting them to say yes or yes questions. Even if you're selling from stage, same kind of thing. Talk to them, get them to respond, ask questions. It's basically the same thing, it's just a larger group, right? So get the commitment. And if they don't want to commit, then get them to give you a firm no so you don't waste your time. And if they say, yes, Jen, I do want to do it, but I just can't do it right now. I'll do it on Friday. Get the post-dated payment. Okay, so listen, guys. At the end of the day, sales is getting somebody else to believe in the same thing. It's a transfer of belief from one person to another. That is what sales is. And so again, remember, speak to the results that they're going to get. So let's not just say you're selling skincare. Don't just say, oh my gosh, look at this great eye cream. It's so amazing. It's made with eucalyptus and vitamin A and whatever, and it's so great. No. Are your bags hanging low? You know, you'll no longer have bags under your eyes. You will get rid of the darkness, whatever the case may be. You'll stop looking like a tired old lady, whatever you got to say, that's going to share what the results are that they're going to get. Not how amazing the product is, because I can tell you, I really don't need to know every little ingredient in what it is you sell. I'm not impressed. You can add that in there if your target is interested in that kind of stuff. But again, focus on what results will they get by using it, by buying this, by being part of your team. What will they benefit from that? So always make sure. And also, yes, share where it is that you're coming from. How did you come to be passionate about this? You know, what's your story, basically? It is something you do want to share. Create a system. Don't expect to be the only person on your team forever. That's thinking very small. You want to think big. And so you want to assume that very soon you're going to have other employees or other team members join your opportunity, whatever the business that you are in. So create systems, have that sales script outline, have the rebuttals, how to follow up with people, when, what time, what days. Have a system that you are slowly developing, because you are going to need to have other people duplicate your efforts. And so you don't want to just get someone on board to grow their business and in turn help you out with your business, but you have no direction. And we will again talk about this in the training video about how to build and lead your team. But create a system. You got to believe, and I'm a big believer in systems. I knew that from the beginning. I was very passionate about having my kids and being at home with them. And the only way that I was going to be able to do that is have my business practically run on its own without me. So I had to hire somebody to run the call center for me. I had to have her trained well. I had to have a manual for everybody in there so that they didn't have to call me with all these little questions all day long. They just refer to page 6 or whatever, right? Same thing for you. So if you have your own business, you need to do this. And if you don't, and you're part of a larger network marketing type business, you need to create one of your own, get it laminated, whatever, put it in a binder, a 3-ring binder, but you need to have something that you can make copies of and pass this out to your team, because you are busy, you are building your business. You don't need them asking you little questions that they should know or forgot about. You need to have a way to have your system keep running and flowing. And also inspect what you expect. Okay, so if somebody said they're buying, if somebody said they're signing up, if somebody said they're interested, you need to follow up with that. Don't just let people slide. You know, if you send people to your landing page, they opt in, don't just never contact them, right? What was the point? So again, sales is a transfer of belief from one person to another. There is a psychology behind it. And again, it's just something that people just don't really focus on and teach anymore. So I know that these tips here will help you and help increase you closing. But if you do want extra help, let's work on it together. Send us an email and we will, set up a call. Also, if you did sign up for the VIP package with this Kickstart program, you do get a one-on-one consultation. So write down any questions that you might have had during this training video and the other ones that you watch as well, so that we can cover them on our call. If you didn't get the VIP package, make sure to see about how you could possibly upgrade, or if you'd like further assistance, let me know. So thanks, ladies, and I will talk to you soon in the next training video.